YouTube is a difficult game, and with so much misinformation out there, it's hard to tell what you actually need to do to grow a channel. But what if there was one video that just said it all and made building a YouTube channel as easy as building Lego? Well, thankfully, you're in the right place, because if you follow the steps in this video and ignore all other information out there, I guarantee that you'll triple your subscriber growth in the next 2 months. But why should you trust us? Well, that's because this channel is run by a team of experienced video editors, some of which have worked for the top creators on YouTube, and we've even got experience running channels of our own in the gaming, shorts, drama, and YouTube education space. So, without further ado, block out any other noise and genuinely get a notepad and pen, because this is the best guide to growing a YouTube channel that you'll ever watch. This video is going to consist of 6 parts, with each part acting as a stepping stone to the next, meaning that if you miss one of them, this plan won't work. And this is going to sound like an exaggeration, but I've literally never seen a channel doing these 6 parts correctly who isn't getting at least 100,000 views a month. The first step is arguably the most important, and to prove this works, I'll be building a channel alongside you and growing it to over 1,000 subscribers, to prove that luck has nothing to do with this. For the first part, don't even think about what your videos are going to look like yet. Instead, you're going to want to think of what your channel branding as a whole and what it's going to be focused on. If you have no idea what your channel is even going to be yet, then go onto the YouTube homepage and just pick something that you would like to watch on a regular basis, because chances are this type of content already has an audience that you can get to watch your videos when you start making them. The first part of making a channel is the profile picture and banner. These can be anything you like, they don't really matter. But if you want to be professional about this, make sure they match each other and the overall brand that you want for your channel. If you're a gaming channel, you might want brighter colours that stand out more. But if you're a channel about books, then you might want older and softer looking colours. The choice is ultimately yours. But because my channel is going to be in the YouTube education space, I'm going to choose the colour black, because it just makes it look more professional. Once you've done this, I want you to open a Word document and write down a few things that makes your channel stand out from the rest. Because realistically, if viewers are already watching another creator in the niche you picked, then you're going to have to offer something different to make them want to watch you. Examples of these could be that your channel's aiming to be more funny, have good editing, or maybe just be really chill and relatable. In business, this is called a USP, or a unique selling point, and it could be anything that simply just makes the audience interested in you rather than someone else. Because if you just blatantly copy another YouTuber and not change anything, no offense, but no one's going to watch you. For my channel I'm making, since it's in the YouTube education space, I'm going to make sure that it's just giving raw, valuable information in the most efficient way possible with every single video, because I've noticed that some channels in this niche are just uploading to earn money, not to help people. Once you've sorted the branding, we can move on to starting to think about videos. For this stage, I again want you to get out that same Word document and write down 50 video ideas that you can see your channel making. The reason to why we're doing 50 is simply just to make sure we have enough, because if you run out of ideas after the first 10 videos, this channel is just doomed to fail, because it's obviously not going to be sustainable enough to grow over a long period of time. You can organise this in a table with checkboxes next to the idea so that we can tick them off once we make them. Again, you don't have to think of them yourself. Go onto the YouTube homepage and look into your niche a lot more. Think, what are the top creators uploading? What are some of the outliers? And can you use these ideas for your channel? If the answer is yes, then write them down. The more evergreen ideas you have, the better. And if you don't know what evergreen ideas are, they're essentially videos that have the ability to gain views over time without people losing interest. For example, a guide to growing on YouTube will always have interest, but a video on the current MrBeast drama will die down after a few weeks once people lose the interest. Both types of videos have their strengths, but for the purpose of longevity, we're going to want to think of as many evergreen ideas that we possibly can. Also, unless your channel is specifically a shorts channel, don't write down shorts ideas, as we'll get onto these later. For the third part, we're going to want to decide how frequent our uploads are going to be. This may sound simple, but this part is the downfall of most channels, including some of my own, so you're going to have to be careful. Although some people think it's better to upload videos whenever they get finished, I personally think it's better to have a schedule, as it not only is predictable for viewers, but it's also better for the creator's overall health to have a deadline in mind, rather than just pumping out videos whenever they feel like it. To figure out an upload schedule, first you need to know how long videos are going to take to make, from the moment you think of the idea to uploading the video. This could vary from video to video, but after you make a few videos, you'll start to get the idea. Once you have this number of hours in mind, you're going to want to think how many times a week or month you could do this, whilst preferably maintaining your sanity. You need to account time for work, school, health, and any other things. Because if you dedicate 16 hours a day purely to YouTube, trust me, you'll hate your life and you'll end up at stage 1 again. For the channel I'm making, videos would take anywhere from 10 to 15 hours to make, so I'm thinking that uploading every 5 to 7 days would be a good fit for the channel, as this allows me a bit of flexible time to play around with, whilst also being consistent enough to stay at the top of the viewer's mind. Once we've finally got all of this out of the way, we can start with the exciting part. The actual videos. Your first video, don't think it needs to be a movie, just upload as if you've been uploading on your channel for years, like just a normal upload. Go over to your Word document and pull a video off the list. For this, make sure the video for one isn't too oversaturated. If this video has been done millions of times by thousands of channels, realistically, the viewer won't click on yours if they've seen it before. But at the same time, make sure it isn't an idea that's so random that no one knows what you're talking about. Ideally, you want a video that has very high demand, but very little supply. A good example of this was the YouTube channel Curse. Before him, there were no channels which were making easy to consume drama videos, so when he started making videos, he drew a lot of attention and grew from 0 to 300,000 subscribers in 5 months. And once you've got your video idea, I want you to just put the camera and the mic down, and first make a thumbnail and title, because if you've got an incredible idea but have the worst packaging for it, then no one's going to get the chance to click on your video and no one will know how good your idea was. The thumbnail and title come hand in hand, and they need to complement each other well as a pair. There's a massive misconception that titles are just a chance to stuff keywords in, which is just not true. Your title needs to act as a thumbnail but in text form, in a way that it needs to be short and sweet, eye-catching and intriguing. Don't really overthink this, literally just give your video a title that sums it up in as little words as possible, and that alone will just make it eye-catching. For example, World's Deadliest Obstacle Course is obviously going to get more clicks than Max tries to defeat the biggest obstacle course in the world. This can get perfected over time as you learn more about your niche and what stands out. However, unlike titles, thumbnails are a bit more complicated. A lot of the time, thumbnails are incredibly small in comparison to the rest of the screen, so to get the viewer's attention, you're going to have to stand out in a big way. I know people talk about color theory and contrasting colors, but for people who are just starting out, you're overthinking it way too much. Obviously, colors are a big part of thumbnails. Some colors look good together, whilst others make you want to throw up. And whilst they help, and color theory is a good chunk of the thumbnail, it isn't the most important thing. The best thing to focus on when making thumbnails is without a doubt the composition. This means what your thumbnail is made up of, and how many things are in your thumbnail and where they're positioned. There are a lot of theories when it comes to thumbnails which 100% help, such as the rule of thirds, not having more than 3 subjects in the thumbnail, the line theory, and if you want to research them, please go ahead and do that in your own time. They definitely will make your thumbnails look a lot better, but to put everything simply, just make sure that there's no dead space in your thumbnail, make sure the perspective is right and that the images are the size that they should be, and make sure that there's just one main focus which viewers are immediately drawn to. If you follow these 3 steps, you'll already have a better thumbnail than 80% of YouTubers. And the last 20% will come from making sure that the thumbnail is of good quality, the color theory you mentioned earlier, and overall having something that will lead to the viewer clicking on the video. It's hard to boil down 5 years of experience into this section, so the improvement will just come from practice. In terms of software, you don't have to use Photoshop or anything. If you have access to it, go ahead. But I personally just use Pixlr. It's free, it does the job, and has allowed me to make thumbnails that got me millions of views. But before we open up our editing program, we need to actually record our video. Depending on your niche, this could take up to weeks or months, but it also could take 10 minutes. If you're thinking of making videos in real life, honestly, your phone will do just fine as a camera. Ryan Trahan records with his phone, and he has 17 million subscribers, so I think we can get away with it. But if you're making gaming videos, documentary style videos, or any other video for that matter, just please invest in a good mic. I don't think they even cost a lot. There's definitely some good ones out there for under $100, but having a good quality mic will definitely just help people stick around and not have their hearing destroyed constantly. But if you are making documentary style videos, you could also benefit from writing a script for what you're going to say in the voiceover. Videos like these are basically depending on the script to be good, so they have to be effective in keeping your attention. I'm just going to quickly mention the intro in this part because after the thumbnail, it's the next most important thing in deciding where the viewers will stay. In my opinion, the first frame will establish the video, the first 5 seconds show the viewer that they'll want to stay, and the first 30 seconds will allow the viewer to actually decide whether they want to stay. So just make sure that the script reflects this. Tell the viewer everything they want to know to make them stay, while showing them that later on in the video, they'll be glad that they stayed. if that makes sense. That's the entire premise in a simple version. But once we've scripted and recorded our video, we can finally start editing. I know some people make you think that the editing is a thing that will make or break your video. It's not. If you've done everything up to now correctly, the editing is the least of your worries. In my opinion, just have fun with it. You can tell in a video if the editor is just going through the motions or if they're actually being creative. Our team literally consists of mainly video editors, so we know what we're talking about. Some things I like to say is that just make the video entertaining for people to watch. If this means putting a cool graphic every 15 seconds or learning a cool animation, then do it. It will definitely pay off. Also, make sure your editing complements what's actually happening in the video. Don't just load up as many memes as you can and drop them on your timeline. It looks terrible. Please stop doing it. But the part of the video where the editing matters the most is the first 30 seconds. What I do is spend double, maybe sometimes triple the amount of time on this segment of the video, as you want to put all your cool animations and stuff here, because if you show off to the viewers here as opposed to doing it 15 minutes in, they'll be more likely to stay. In terms of software, if you have access to it, Premiere Pro is obviously very beneficial to have, and if you're familiar with it, After Effects is amazing too. But if you're just starting out, don't spend your life savings on Adobe. What I would highly recommend is DaVinci Resolve. It's free and it can basically do whatever Premiere Pro and After Effects can do, but without the £600 per year. It's also extremely beginner friendly, and once you get good at it, you can make some very impressive videos, like this one you're watching right now. And once this is done, you've made your video, congratulations. This might have taken a few hours, or it might have taken 2 months, and you're losing your mind. Either way, it's time to upload. There's not much to say here, just make sure it's in the right quality. 1920 by 1080 is good, anything lower shouldn't really be uploaded. But apart from that, there's not much else to do. The description and tags do help with search and SEO, but they aren't the end of the world. So if you would like, put words in there that are relevant to your niche, but if you have a good video anyway, they won't really matter. And after a long process, your video is out for people to see. But we still have 2 more steps. The first of which is creating session times. This is where the viewer doesn't just watch one of your videos, they also start watching the rest of your channel, which is where the real growth starts. To do this, you simply just need to have a catalogue of videos that the viewer will find interesting to watch, one after the other. For this to work, they would have to have similar concepts, similar editing, and similar styles. But if they're all made by you, this will probably just happen naturally. To make this easier for the viewer, you can link to other videos at the end with end screens. So that way you can allow viewers to almost follow a path through your channel, watching your videos along the way. This is where you start to build an audience of returning viewers. You can see this analytic in the YouTube studio, and this essentially just shows you how many people are actually excited for your next upload. And once you've started to grow this number, then you've basically beat 90% of the game, and the only stage left is to keep going and stay motivated whilst you do it. I can't tell you how many people fail at the last hurdle and just stop after they've reached the tiniest bit of success. I've fallen victim to the 10 of 10 curse before, and trust me, if you stop and overanalyze a bad video, you're going to look back on it and regret it forever. So stay disciplined, keep being creative and making videos, and you will succeed one day. It's literally a physical impossibility that you don't grow your YouTube channel if you keep making videos. And at the end of the day, that's all it is. Making videos. And the channel I was building throughout this video was this channel that you're watching this on. It might have 1,000 subscribers, it might not. But if you made it this far, you might as well subscribe, because you obviously liked the video. And if you made it this far, I would also highly recommend our content agency. Unlike some other YouTube products, we want to dedicate as much time as possible to efficiently helping as many creators as possible to succeed on YouTube. And we think the best way to do this is through helping you directly. So if you want access to a team of editors and experienced content creators to help grow your channel, then contact us through the first link in the description, and we'll continue our conversation there. Have a nice day.